So I have this book, Crochet Wizardry, Harry Potter Crochet Wizardry, the official Harry Potter crochet pattern book. And I'm really enjoying using this book. I'm actually working on the Hogwarts Crest crochet blanket, and I'm really enjoying working through this book. I just wanted to show briefly how I do color changes. And I'll put the stitch marker back in. This is the front of my work, okay, and this is the back, and that's the working yarn. But really you cannot see where the row ends and where the row begins as far as the color changing, because I'm not cutting for each square. I'm really just tagging the yarn, or the yarn behind the work. I'm really just bringing the yarn behind the work, kind of carrying the yarn behind the work instead of cutting for each square that I do. And I feel like if I flip it on both sides look good. You can't really see any cut string or any woven in string. Now, of course, I do have some yarn ends to weave in, because there was a lot of color work. It's in this particular blanket, especially the crest of the motif. We're working with all, 8 house colors and some accent colors at the same time. So there was a lot of color changes. I wanted to minimize the amount of cutting and adding in new colors as I could. So this is the way that I change yarn without having to cut for each additional square when I'm doing the square blocking, the squares on this side. So I have my stitch marker here just to make sure that nothing unravels while I'm working on this. And stitch markers are just awesome. I love using stitch markers. So I'm at the end of this square, and I've actually pulled the yarn behind on these other tabs, but you really cannot see that. So I'm at the end of this square, so I'm going to crochet into it. This is the yarn from this side, so I'm going to pull that over because I'm not using that one. Now I need to get this gold down here to start on the next square, and I need this burgundy color or this maroon or crimson color to be over the gold. So what I'm going to do is pull that maroon or that Gryffindor red color in the back, and then I'm going to take this gold color, scarlet and gold. I'm going to take this gold color and bring it to cross in the back, and I'm kind of going to hold that in place while I crochet and just kind of bring that yarn with me, so when I get to this gold color that needs, instead of having to cut and feed in and tie or do a Russian join or do some other kind of unbreakable knot, this is the same yarn. This yarn here is the same yarn down here. Okay, so I've really just used like 6 balls of yarn for this whole kind of Gryffindor panel. So what I'm going to do is take that yarn, and I'm going to keep that one in the back. I'm going to take that yarn and finish my crochet, but I also kind of want the tension loose because it is a blanket, and we don't want extreme tension on this, okay? But I'm just going to kind of crochet right into that, while in the back I'm hanging on to that burgundy and I'm hanging on to that yellow. This is the yarn that I'm working with, but this is the yarn that I had to bring from here to there to cross it in the back. And I'm just going to crochet, holding on to both of those pieces. I'm just going to crochet over that. Just a simple single crochet. I'm not going to tell how to do the pattern because you should just buy the book. It's a good book if you love Harry Potter. If you like making crochet things, there's great projects in here. I've enjoyed working through here. I can see many more projects that I could make. And I think I've gotten a lot of really good uses out of this book. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it, but I just want to show you the color change, especially when you're working with multiple colors and you don't want to be cutting strings and tying ends. So, okay, it seems like an easier way to do it instead of having to cut strings and tie yarn together for each individual square. I have not cut any of this from the time that I started on the Gryffindor portion of this blanket. I have not cut any of this maroon and gold yarn at all. I haven't cut it at all. And so now we're getting ready to start on our red block. We're going to bring this yarn that we just did behind it, and we'll just drop it because that's the back side. Okay, and we'll finish our single crochet. And once I finish this, I'll show you what the back of it looks like. Not the whole of it, because I kind of want to reveal that a little later when I finish it. Hopefully I can do a reveal on September 1st. Back to Hogwarts Day, we'll see how that goes. But it's just a basic single crochet, but I really found this technique of kind of weaving the yarn behind the work and crocheting over it instead of having to cut. I don't mind cutting, but a project that uses so many different colors, I didn't want to cut for each color change. And I was just thinking there has to be a simpler way to color change without having to cut for each individual square. So this seems just like a better way to do that. And I'll show you the back. This is the front panel, the front part of this blanket, and it's worked kind of in a top down. You cannot see, any cuts or any loose string in it. This is the front panel. You're gonna see some string in the back because that's where my yarn is kind of hanging out until I finish it. This is the back panel. Back looks just as good as the front. The really only way you'll be able to tell the front and the back is where the Gryffindor, lion, the Slytherin snake, Hufflepuff badger, and the Ravenclaw eagle is. That's really going to be the only telltale difference. But as far as the blocks, as far as the color changes, as far as ends having to weave in, I don't have that. And I really like using this method. I would definitely make this again and use this project again. I had fun doing it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. And again, I do really recommend this book. It's a great crochet pattern book. And hopefully I can get some more of these rows done and have this finished to do a reveal. Thanks for watching.